Before I begin this video, it's time for some transparency. A review copy was provided for the PlayStation 4 version. I've had no involvement in the creation of the game, nor was I paid to do this video, but the 2064 update has one of its characters voiced by Nathan Sharp. You may know him from his YouTube channel, Nate Wants to Battle. When I was a video editor on The Completionist for That One Video Gamer, I worked with Nathan on a video featuring Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and we are friends who know each other. So please bear that in mind for this video. Talk about long overdue. Read Only Memories is a game I've wanted to talk about on this channel for the longest time since I played it back on the PC in October 2015. It was a project I had known from meeting the developers at different events and from its Kickstarter in 2013, but I didn't expect to walk away from this humble visual novel loving it nearly as much as I did. It represented something larger than a point-and-click throwback, but in the spectrum of the gaming community, a call to civility. A refreshing adult take on gender representation that this community sorely needed. Now, over a year since its conception, we're presented with the now renamed 2064 Read Only Memories, an update that comes free on the PC, Mac, and Linux, and as a new title on the PlayStation 4. While this update adds a lot with a talented voice cast, reworkings of some of the dialogue, and refined puzzle design that makes it more consistent and easy to manage than the first game, the 2064 update stays true to treating the player like an adult. While the $20 asking price is a bit hefty for a game like this, it left an impression on me that made me want to dive into it over a year since its release. The game is developed by Midboss, creators of the first ever LGBTQ-based gaming convention, GamerX, that still takes place to this day. They're an organization about inclusivity, making everyone feel welcome and safe in the gaming community. Read Only Memories has an extensive cast of various gender identities, sexual orientations, and different races, but being a highly diverse game wasn't the only goal here.
Although this game has queer content in it and queer characters, it is not a gay game. It is just a game. We are making a game. A lot of queer characters can be presented on an equal level with their straight counterparts. It's really important that we create more games that have queer characters in them, but the point is also not to shoehorn them in.
It deals with various themes of science fiction about the creation of a sapient robot that can think like a human with a personality and cognitive thinking. The robot is named Turing, based on the computer scientist Alan Turing's test to see how a machine can think like a human being. You may have heard of this concept from various other forms of science fiction media and, actual science. It's a visual novel mystery inspired by Gabriel Knight, various cyberpunk movies and books, and especially the Hideo Kojima cult classic Snatcher. In Neo San Francisco 2064, everybody's connected to the mesh network via their ROMs. The ROMs are various robots that act as servants in the game, and medical science has discovered a way for cyber augmentation and genetic modification to find cures for what ails you, including missing limbs or different treatments for cancer. Those that have undergone the treatment having different animal DNA and body parts are called hybrids in the world. These technological advances have created a divide between the human revolution, people who are pure humans against the medical advancement, and hybrids that have gone through the treatment. You play as a journalist in the game that has one-of-a-kind Rom Turing show up at your front door, asking for your help to find out what happened to Turing's creator, Hayden, a highly talented programmer who works for the powerful tech company Parallax. From there, you and Turing investigate the disappearance and discover a larger conspiracy involving a variety of different characters and different circles. As a warning to new players of the game, this is very much more of a visual novel than a standard point-and-click adventure game. There are a few minimal puzzles, such as matching different symbols and basic inventory puzzles, but you'll be spending a lot of time reading and listening to people talk. Some of the characters go into dissertation levels of dialogue here where it could have used a little bit of editing and trimming. To be fair, you can skip a lot of the talk and move on with the game, but it does encourage you to listen to its world and all the juicy intellectual jargon.
We wanted to take artificial intelligence to the next level. And now, well, we have devices that can truly adapt.
There's a lot of philosophical and technological science fiction to dig into here that present a lot of interesting ideas. The idea of a corporation buying an entire city and having it being run by them. How medical science can redefine humanity with its advancements. How that same science is being used to discriminate against a minority. And especially the creation of Turing developing a personality and dealing with their own identity. While the writers don't skimp on detail, it is interesting to listen to, and I found myself hearing all of Turing's lectures, which the game rewards you by giving you a trophy or an achievement for it. I've mentioned the diversity in the cast, and the story wisely never points out its own diversity as you play the game. There's never anyone pointing out that this is the lesbian character, or this is the bear character, or the trans character, or even the straight character. Through a lot of smart writing and developing the characters, they're never reduced to a cartoonish stereotype, each having backstories and a better understanding of why they do the things they do. They're people first, and not labels. But if you enjoy being called by a label, Turing will ask your profile with your name and also your preferred pronouns. Here you can choose between he, she, they, as well as the opportunity to have your own custom pronouns. It's a neat way to have more inclusivity to those that feel excluded from most media. A few have voiced against the idea on Steam's community pages. I'm not really sure why this is such an issue for them. If it's not your thing, why not have fun with it? You can have it literally be anything that your mind thinks up. If you wanted to, you can have everybody address you as pizza toppings. In fact, refer to me as Onion from now on, please. The puzzles, like I said, are minimal here. There are some basic inventory puzzles, usually to distract a person away to grab an item or to complete a task. In the original 2015 version, there was one puzzle hacking into a computer that was a main contributing factor to the game's ending. If you screwed up on this puzzle, you got a bad ending unless you reload a previous save to finish it. No other puzzle has those kinds of consequences to it, making this one seem a bit inconsistent with the rest of the game. In the 2064 update, the puzzle is a lot easier to get through and not a problem at all. I would have liked to see a lot more puzzles like this in the game to help break up a lot of the dialogue, but the ones here aren't too obtrusive and are much improved with the updates. Except the extra arcade game within the game. Man, that thing is tough. Alright, for this next section, I need to delve into some spoiler territory, because there's a lot I'd like to say about this game, but want you to experience it for yourself. I'll give you a second. One of the best moments in the game involves Jess, a lawyer who's gone through a life-saving surgery and has become genetically modified without a choice. It was either go through the treatment or die of skin cancer. She's now a civil rights activist and represents others from the genetic community in her practice that are underrepresented. When you first meet her, Jess automatically assumes the worst in you, labeling you as a bigot, and is very unpleasant no matter how polite you treat her. However, in the 2064 update, if you're more polite, she'll be only passive-aggressive rather than scream at you for no good reason.
So if that's all you needed from me, I'll get back to cutie cruising. And no, that wasn't an invitation to flirt.
Definitely a good change on the part of the developers here. Later on, however, you'll be yelled at and kicked out of her sight no matter how nice you are to her. Jess is a highly distrusting, short-fused, negative person when you first meet her. But later in the game, you have conversations with Jess and her friends about why she acts so hostile and where that anger really comes from. We learn about her past and how her and other genetically enhanced people are mistreated, and from that you understand her hesitation in finding trust in other people outside of her movement and her beliefs.
You can't imagine what it's like to have children cry from just looking at you. When people just see you and sprint the other direction. You know how your folks look at you when they figure out you finally had sex or did crash? It's like that. All the time.
And that's a theme that's hit on throughout, understanding where anger and distrust is coming from.
What is the big picture anyway, Blue Bomber? Spill the beans, or I'll spill them for you!
Instead of just walking away from the situation, reducing its characters to a cultural stereotype, Read Only Memories encourages you to listen and to have a conversation.
I still have my dad, but he's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself, and I thought I could find a way to make him... Whatever.
It also makes the point through Jess that it shouldn't be her job as a member of a minority or a social circle to educate those that are outside of that circle.
I'm not here to educate you, and I do have a life to return to.
It's through smart writing like that elevates Jess from a stereotype people complain about on Twitter to an empathetic and interesting character. Alright, it's consumer advice time. I've played both the Steam and PlayStation 4 versions of the 2064 update. After the 2015 release, the PC version came out with Endless Christmas, an extended epilogue where you get to see the main cast again, and some new characters with a new location to explore. Thankfully, the PlayStation 4 does have Endless Christmas included. The Steam and PlayStation 4 versions are identical and cost the same price, but I'd recommend the PC version over it with a mouse and keyboard fitting more for this kind of game. If this video does pique your interest about the game, Steam and the game's website have a free demo available for download. The game will be getting ports to the Xbox One, PlayStation Vita, iOS, and Android in the future. Hopefully it won't take until the actual year 2064. 2064 Read-Only Memories is something I'm glad I got a chance to experience.
I knew you'd see it my way.
It's filled with fun and intelligently written characters, capturing the essence of what made Sierra adventure-style games fun, with a loving nod to the father of Gillian Seed and Metal Gear. And across the spectrum of internet and the gaming community, it's something we need right now. A call that no one is a label on social media, and that if you act like an adult towards others, then you'll be treated like an adult. It's something that's easy to forget when you're browsing your Twitter feed. And after all the time that it's been out, that's why I have so much respect for this humble visual novel. It treats you like an adult. It doesn't need to label its people. It doesn't talk down to you. It doesn't believe that stereotypes are the only way to communicate with an audience. It trusts that you'll see everybody as people first beyond whatever gender, race, or group that they quote-unquote belong to. It trusts that you'll have the maturity to listen to somebody like Jess, and the maturity to be open to empathy for people who are different even if they express nothing but hostility. It's a rare kind of trust to have in a video game. And in a community where you'll be labeled if you like this movie or have an opinion that's gender-related, or even if you play a certain kind of game, it's a breath of fresh air in the gaming community for the developers to treat me with such respect. And it's a testament that you can have a diverse cast with many different backgrounds in a thought-provoking game and still have it be fun.
Don't matter if you're a robot or what, we all got the same shit to deal with. Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark!
Hello again, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my previous videos, and be sure to subscribe. My name is Mark, and you can find links to the game in the description below. A special thanks to Midboss for providing me with a review copy, and a very special thanks to you for watching. Have a fantastic day.